Hello and welcome to Understanding Chef Fundamentals and Writing Recipes. This is section 2 of this video series. And in this section, we are going to talk about installation and configuration of Chef Server and Chef Workstation. And in the process, we are going to get ourselves a full-fledged Chef ecosystem. So what exactly is the agenda for this section? Let's take a look. In the first video, we are going to talk about the types of Chef servers available to us and what are the differences and what is the role of each one of them. In the second video, we are going to take a look at the server installation process for the on-premise Chef server. And in the third video, we are going to take a look how exactly we can create a hosted Chef account for ourselves, which is nothing but a Chef as a service offering from the company Chef. In the next video, we are going to configure a workstation for ourselves. Workstation is a very important component of the Chef ecosystem. We will take a look at what exactly a workstation is and how do we configure it, and how do we talk to the Chef server from the workstation. Then in the next video, we are going to talk about knife.rb file and the Chef repository, also known as Chef repo. These are two of the most important components when you are configuring a Chef workstation for yourself. So we'll take a look at what exactly are the components of each one of them. And in the last video, or the last two videos of this series, we are going to bootstrap some nodes for ourselves. Bootstrapping is a process of getting a node into the Chef ecosystem. That is how you create a Chef node for yourself. So we'll take a look at first a Linux node bootstrapping, and then we will take a look at Windows nodes bootstrapping. So with that, let's get started with the first video of this series. And in this video, we are going to talk about the types of Chef servers. So what exactly are the types of Chef servers? The first one is on-premise Chef server, also known as local Chef server. This is the one which typically the enterprise companies go ahead and install for themselves. And this is the server which is residing on-premise or inside the data center of the company for which it is managing the infrastructure. Hosted Chef is almost same as the on-premise Chef server. The only difference is that it is Chef as a service provided by the company Chef, which means that we get a cloud instance, or typically also called as software as a service instance. And this is something which you get from the company Chef. And you're not responsible for the managing and maintenance of this server. This is something done by the company itself. We just use it as a cloud instance and as a more specifically as a software as a service. So Chef as a service is the one which we are talking about. Now, Chef Solo is offering from Chef, which was much popular till a couple of months back. It's typically a command that executes Chef client in a way that does not require the Chef server in order to converge cookbooks. This is especially useful when you don't want to have a full infrastructure having a server on a different machine and a workstation on a different machine and the likes. When you want to have everything on a single machine, Chef Solo is the way to go. It typically uses the Chef client's Chef local mode and does not support a lot of functionalities of Chef server in general. Now, what is Chef client and all those things? We are going to take a look in some of the future videos. So for now, you can think of Chef Solo as a Chef in a single box. For more details, you can just take a look at the link given on the slideshow. Chef Zero is again another utility which is very close to the Chef server, and it's a very simple, easy to install in-memory Chef server that can be useful for Chef client testing, and it actually does Chef Solo-like tasks that require a full Chef server. It is intended to be a simple, Chef compliant, easy to run, and fast to start. It is not intended to be secure, scalable, performant, or persistent, which means that Chef Zero is mostly useful for test purposes. If you want to have a single environment where you want to just test and see how exactly your recipes are going to behave, how exactly your cookbooks are going to behave when you actually put them in the production environment. That is when you will go ahead with the Chef Zero. Now, the question comes, which one to be used when? So typically, as you can imagine, the on-premise Chef server is the one most of the enterprise companies go for, because that is the one which gives the companies full control on the Chef server. And obviously, they have to maintain the Chef server by themselves, but they would like to do that themselves. And most importantly, they can take control of the security, of the access and everything for that Chef server. But typically for test purposes, let's say for POC purpose and for lab purpose, hosted Chef is the way to go. When you want to test a couple of things without going the extra mile to install Chef server for yourself, you go ahead with the hosted Chef instance for yourself. That's easy, and it's as easy as signing up for an email for yourself And once it is done, it works exactly the same way as a Chef server does. Apart from the fact that, it is not there in your own data center, rather it is maintained by the company Chef. Chef Solo and Zero, as I said, it is not exactly less and less people are using it at the moment. And especially after hosted Chef has come into picture, when you want to test something, you can actually very easily go ahead and create an hosted instance and leverage the capability of a Chef server. So because Chef Solo and Chef Zero actually they don't have the full capability of a Chef server. So that is the reason they are less popular nowadays, and hosted Chef is most of the people are looking at when they want to go for the lab environment or when they want to have a POC. So let's take a look now what exactly Chef ecosystem components are. The first one, of course, is the Chef server, which is kind of the centralized unit of your infrastructure. It contains all the details about your infrastructure. It has got each and every information about your infrastructure, such as the nodes, the network details, what kind of packages you have on those nodes, and how many DB servers you have, and the likes. So each and every minute details will be there on the Chef server. This acts as a centralized repository for your infrastructure. Next comes the Chef workstation, which is again a very important component, because without workstation you cannot talk to the Chef server. Typically in other configuration management tools such as Puppet or Ansible, when you want to do something or when you want to modify or make some kind of changes to your infrastructure, you go ahead and log in to the Puppet master or you log into the Ansible tower. But that is not the case with Chef. You don't log in to Chef server very often unless you have to make some changes to the server itself for your day-to-day activities with regards to your nodes configuration and the likes. You don't really log into the Chef server. Everything what you have to do with your infrastructure, you actually do from the workstation and not from the server. Now, workstation is typically your laptop or your desktop. You configure it for the first time and then you work all the time on this machine. Whatever development you have to do with regards to Chef cookbooks and recipes, you do that on your Chef workstation. And once the job is done, once you have tested your recipes and cookbooks, then you go ahead and upload those recipes and cookbooks and the likes onto the Chef server with the help of Knife utility, which we are going to take a detailed look at in one of the future videos. That brings us to the last component of the Chef ecosystem, which is Chef nodes. This one is the easiest one to understand. Nodes are nothing but the servers or the switches or the routers which you're going to manage through Chef configuration management tool. It can be your DB server, it can be your web servers or app servers, it can be your switches and your routers. Anything which you want to manage through Chef, from which you want to have a centralized control over, that is something is called as Chef node. Now with that, let's just take a pictorial look how exactly the ecosystem looks like. The first component obviously we have is Chef server, which is the centralized location as we spoke about. And then the second important component is the workstation. As we spoke, workstation is typically your laptop or your desktop, which you configure to be a Chef workstation. We'll see the configuration process in a future video, what exactly is needed and how you do that. And the third component is the nodes which you manage through your Chef server. So that's the complete ecosystem of Chef server.